For more on the investigation into the blast, we're joined now by Matthew Wheeler. He's an analyst with the International Crisis Group. It's an independent organization working to prevent and resolve deadly conflict. Matthew, thanks so much for joining us. I saw a quote from you saying this is a new type of attack for Bangkok. How so?
Well, it's different in a variety of ways. I think most importantly is the significant death toll. It's an unprecedented kind of attack in Thailand. Another difference between the kinds of attacks that Bangkok has experienced in the past is that it was an attack that targeted tourists. This was a very professional terrorist attack, and it took place in the heart of the city, and of course caused a large number of casualties. So that's unlike attacks that normally occur in Bangkok.
You said professional terror attack, but a lot of times with professional terror attacks, the terrorist groups are always quick to acknowledge that they carried out the attack. We're not really hearing that this time around. It's kind of weird, isn't it?
Right, it is unusual. For attacks in Thailand, though, it's par for the course. The Malay Muslim militants who've been waging an insurgency in the deep south of Thailand do not claim responsibility for attacks. And the bombings and other type of political violence that's been associated with Thailand's national level political conflict, there also aren't claims. Indeed, an attack carried out by international terrorists, we might expect a claim of responsibility. But again, this is a new kind of attack, and so we don't know how it's going to comport with what we would expect in international terrorist attacks yet.
I was reading online, police saying that this is part of a network. Other authorities saying, Thai authorities exploring the possibility it could be Uyghur militants. It seems like the tentacles are going in a lot of different directions. What are you hearing there?
Sure. Well, it's still very early days. We are in a period of speculation. People are presenting different explanations of what the motive might be. I think with respect to the Uyghur connection, of course, Thailand deported more than 100 Uyghurs last month. This was a decision that was deeply unpopular in much of the Muslim world. There were protests in Turkey at the Thai consulate in Istanbul. It was ransacked. My understanding is that there were also protests against China for their treatment of the Uyghurs, and indeed there were some assaults on Chinese tourists in Turkey. So that decision was deeply unpopular, and it could be a potential motive, which is not to say that the attack was carried out by Uyghurs, but perhaps it was an attack carried out in sympathy with them.
Matthew, I also saw where you said that this is going to have major ramifications for security there in Thailand. How is it going to change things, do you think?
Well, it's hard to tell right now. I mean, this is a military government. They have a lot of legal instruments at their disposal. So far, they haven't done anything as extreme as imposing martial law. We've seen stepped up security measures, not only in Bangkok, but in the provinces. But because this attack does have an international dimension in terms of the victims, if nothing else, there will be great pressure on this government to get to the bottom of this attack.
Let me ask you one final question, Matthew, before we let you go. There was the second bomb attack. Are people on pins and needles there as a result of that? I mean, are folks jittery at all?
Sure. Like I said, this is an attack unprecedented in Bangkok, and it really has rattled nerves here, particularly because of the second attack. Again, we don't know for sure if there's a connection between these two bombings, but yes, it has changed the atmosphere here, and people are concerned.
All right, Matthew Wheeler joining us from Bangkok. Thanks so much for your observations and your analysis. Appreciate it.